I'm meteorologist Danielle Moss, and we have definitely been seeing our fair share of isolated to scattered thunderstorms. We've had plenty of severe weather days this year, and it has really made an impact on the world's busiest airport. I know a lot of people have travel plans. We are seeing summer slowly but surely wind down. A lot of people are trying to get those last minute travel plans in and trying to beat that summer heat, maybe trying to go somewhere tropical, enjoy the nice beaches that we have, not just in America, but around the world. And because of that, we wanted to talk a little bit about how the weather can impact your traveling. And now we have Lily Gray, who's a travel agent, and she's going to talk us through some of the tips and tricks that you might need to think about when it comes to that summer travel and really just travel year round and how you can protect your trip. Thank you for joining me today, Mrs. Gray.
For having me, Miss Danielle. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yes, so we have seen delays, cancellations, and I mean, a lot of people sleeping at our airport here this summer because of the weather, and just the weather only. That's not including any other crazy things that are happening at the airport. What would you say is the best tip for people to do to make sure that their vacation goes on without a hitch as far as that is concerned?
Absolutely. And that's our role as travel advisors to make sure your vacation goes along without a hitch, right? From the time you leave home until the time you return. And travel is an inevitable part of our lives. It's going to be with us each and every day. We just have to plan for it. And one of the things that we recommend top of the line is travel protection. You want to be able to have insurance to protect against those travel delays, those cancellations, right? Travel insurance covers many events, many reasons. So talk with a travel advisor to select a plan that's appropriate for you. You notice when you are traveling and you are booking those travel vacations, one of the things they ask you is, do you accept or decline insurance? Always accept it because it's for your protection. You're investing a lot of money in travel, right? We're spending thousands of dollars, and it's an investment. And you want to know that that investment is protected even for weather-related issues that may arise.
Now, Mrs. Gray, I have to say, unfortunately, I am one of those people that declines the insurance. And I know that I should not be, I know that's not good, right? And
That's right.
especially as a flight attendant, I know that anything can literally happen. And honestly, that flight protection, I think a lot of times people think of it as just, okay, in case life happens before we take this trip. And a lot of people are assuming, well, life won't happen. And if it does, I need to take the trip anyway. But weather is such an important thing because as a flight attendant, I learned that here in Atlanta, it could be absolutely gorgeous. But along your flight plan, wherever you're going, if there's a severe thunderstorm, if there's a tornado, or any other type of weather, then that could really just throw off your whole travel plan from connections to your baggage to every little thing, going forward. What would you say is probably one of the worst experiences that you have heard of as a travel agent from someone who did not get that trip protection?
I can give you a personal experience. My husband and I traveling to Egypt without travel insurance, and our baggage was lost for the entire trip. We did not receive our baggage until the day we were leaving Egypt. So I was like, that was a lesson learned. Something as simple as lost baggage, which you think might show up in a couple of hours. This was an international trip. It didn't show up for the entire 7 days. So we had to go out and purchase clothes. Our travel insurance, had we had it, would have covered that expense because the baggage was delayed significantly. So I can tell you from personal experience how important it is when you purchased all these clothes already and you're ready to travel and your baggage doesn't show up.
Oh my
That's awful.
goodness.
It's awful. It's awful. And you're not looking as fly as you want to look, either, Miss Danielle.
That's what I was just thinking. I always purchase a whole new wardrobe before I go on a trip. I would
I
be
want to
sick if my baggage
I
did
was
not
sick.
show up.
I couldn't even fully enjoy myself because of the clothes that I wanted to wear I didn't have. So that was my lesson in the importance of travel insurance.
That's a good point. What all does travel insurance cover? Because I don't even think that that is something that now I have to get the travel insurance every single time. What all does it cover? Like what kind of
There are
incidents?
there are plans that cover so many things. The trip delays, the cancellations, the weather. You get sick. A lot of times people don't realize if you get sick on vacation, and I do a lot of international travel, right? Your insurance policy that you have here in the United States does not work in a foreign country, and they're expecting cash up front for that service if you have to go to an emergency room or a hospital. So there's so many things. What if you get called back to work and you just have to, you can't take this trip? It's canceled because you got to work. There are plans that cover that, work-related cancellations. So there's so many options available to you depending on your lifestyle, depending on what your travel needs are. And as travel advisors, we can help you plan for incidents that you may not even think about. Someone in your family could get sick causing you, not even you. So you have to think about everything. And that's our job, is to help you think about the things you may not have thought about and
That's
how
very
that
helpful.
insurance is so invaluable to you.
Exactly. And that's what a lot of people, people have flying anxiety. And I found that it's mostly because you lose that control. You have no control over traveling, flying, anything at all. Once you make that purchase, you've relinquished that because you're up to the pilots, you're up to the weather, you're up to literally anything that could happen, even the other passengers on the plane. So you're right. That one sense of peace is definitely something that people probably take for granted. I admit I'm one of those people. Here's another
Peace of
question
mind.
for you.
Yes.
Let's just say you did not purchase the travel protection, or you did, and you get into the airport, you might have a layover, and one of those storms comes through, and it literally, delays your flight, cancels your next connection, your next destination. What do you suggest people do, especially if maybe they're not working with a travel agent, maybe they did it on their own? What should people do in that, instance when they're starting to panic?
To that customer service desk and be as nice as possible. Sugar gets you a long way. Honey, don't they say honey gets you a long way in situations like this? Smile, be so humble. Those gate agents want to help you. They're understanding what you're going through. They need to become your best friend. They're going to help you get that flight connected. They're going to help you maneuver all that you need to maneuver. One of the things that I also recommend is having international phone numbers for the flight. So say if you're traveling on, I don't want to name any particular lines, but whatever airline you're traveling on, Google that flight and see if you can find an international number, because those numbers when you're calling to get rebooked or rescheduled are not as busy as the domestic lines, because everybody's calling into that domestic line. So one tip I would give you is get on the international lines. They're going to provide you the same service, and you want to be on the phone while you're waiting in line to talk to the gate agent to make sure your trip is able to continue on.
That is a very good tidbit. Now, I shouldn't say this because now it's going to be packed, but I know that if the regular TSA line is a little bit slow here in Atlanta to go to the international terminal, I never really thought about that. That's some really good advice to call the international line to get that customer service agent, because you're right. When you talk about delays, you're talking about cancellations, and that line is super long. Getting them on the phone is
Yes.
a time saver and a lifesaver for sure.
Absolutely. Stand in line and make the best use of your time, because you may have that issue resolved before you get to the counter.
Exactly. And that's, people want to be efficient and they want to make sure that they are going about, handling the situation because it's stressful when you're stuck at the airport or you think you're about to be stuck at the airport. That becomes very, very stressful.
Yes, it does.
Now, going forward, obviously, we're almost at the end of summer. A lot of schools here are getting ready to go back in session. So, a lot of people won't be taking those long family vacations any longer. But even as we look into the fall and even going towards the winter, what would you suggest people should do to, plan ahead? Like, do you suggest booking those trips earlier, trying to, pay close attention to the different seasons? I know we have like severe weather season that's really in November. Would you suggest maybe only booking near Thanksgiving and trying to skip out on some of those times where those storms are maybe even stronger?
Definitely want to plan around storms, hurricanes, every travel related tornadoes. You want to know what's going on in the destination that you're traveling to and be prepared for it. Whether you're driving, whether you're cruising, whether you're flying, you maybe just be staying at a vacation rental, just you and your family, going up the mountains. Are the roads going to be icy? Every single destination is going to have some type of weather related seasonal issue. So you definitely want to plan. It's easy to Google what's the weather like in this destination this time of year, and it'll tell you, right? So you can definitely take advantage of the resources that are available to you. Do a little research before you leave home. Know what you're going into. And if you're traveling to a destination where you know someone that lives there, definitely ask them, what's the weather like this time of year? Is there anything I need to prepare for? Should I even come this month or whatever? Get that information up early so you're not investing money and then having to turn around and cancel. And if you didn't purchase that travel insurance, you're losing, right? So just do a little research ahead of time will save you a lot of heartburn in the long run.
Perfect. I think that is the best advice that even I could give, because you're right. Like, you should definitely make sure that you are paying close attention, because I didn't even think about, I don't take a lot of cruises. I've been on one cruise, but cruising during hurricane season is crazy. And I can't even imagine what one would do during that time, because once you're on the ship, you're kind of on the ship, I would assume. Is that the
The
case
good
for
thing
cruises?
The good thing about cruising during hurricane season, you can do it. Know what destinations you can go to that are least likely to run into a hurricane. But in the event that your cruise line is going in that direction, they actually have the flexibility to reroute, to go around a hurricane, but you may end up at a different port than what you expected. So that's where some flexibility is going to come in. If you are dead set on an actual port and they can't make it there because of weather, that could be a disappointed appointment. But maybe it's going to go to another port that you hadn't experienced and you're still going to have a great vacation. And you're going to meet a lot of new people on that cruise ship and you got all the entertainment. So just have a great time. Don't stress. This is where flexibility comes in again. But those cruise ships are definitely planning and they can see storms coming and they're going to reroute. And sometimes people are disappointed with that, but try to make the best of it. It's for your own safety and protection.
Exactly. And I didn't think about that. That's true, because like even when there's, bad weather, the plane is going to, reroute. They have their own meteorologist. So I would assume that a situation like that, then surely the cruise lines have their own meteorologist. Hopefully, if not, maybe I can get on a panel to suggest a meteorologist for the cruise lines.
Well, somebody's looking at that weather forecast out there on that ship because they will reroute to a different port.
Exactly. Well, Miss Gray, is there anything else that you would like to add?
I would just like to add one other thing. Be sure that you have your travel related apps on your phone. And one thing that people miss sometimes, they will check the weather at the destination, but be sure to check the weather at the layover. Wherever your plane is going to lay over, check the weather there because that could be a clue as to whether you're going to have a travel delay or not. So that's my last tip for today.
Oh my goodness, that's such a great thing too. Apps, apps, apps. I know that we all have a lot of them, but they are very, very useful.